In his 3.5 seasons as Giants head coach, Brian Daboll had a 370 winning percentage when they played during the day and a 214 winning percentage when they played at night. 3-11. No wonder they call him Brian Daboll. Boo. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PHLY Eagles podcast. Wulf and EJ Smith live from the Xfinity studio and presented by Bet365 and Ashley. It is a brisk Tuesday afternoon. We've got Eagles news-ish. We're going to reflect on some of the players we talked to on Locker Room Cleanout Day on the offensive side of the ball, which we have not done yet. Some interesting little nuggets to pass around, and we'll just continue hanging out. Wulf and the cake man over here. EJ, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I had some great chocolate cake last night. Celebrated my dad's birthday. I'm excited to talk about some of these topics. He did have a good time. He wore another Jalen Hurts-esque outfit.
Love that.
Like a nice monochrome, like textured sweatsuit-ish thing with a hat. We had a nice time. The chocolate cake was enjoyed.
I mean, the cake you had was enjoyed.
I appreciate all the people that reached out. Most of the people that reached out, even if they disagreed. Some people, at least most of them, were like nice about their disagreement. But it's
because they feel sorry for how dumb you're being.
No, don't do that. Don't do that because you realize that there are some important figures in our lives that agreed with me.
That's not true.
It is. It's objectively true that there are some important people
that's not
in our lives. I won't name names. Well, Zach is one of them.
Don't know who that is.
I won't name names.
Not an important person.
They agreed with me. And also, and then we can put this to bed, it's one of those moments where, like, you know how they'll say, like, nothing you do is original, or, like, everything you do, somebody else has done somewhere in the corners of the internet. I've been sent a lot of research about this topic, and there is an origin. I don't think it's a two Americas thing, like, as, no pun intended, as black and white as that. I think that there is, like, a faction within a faction that this origin actually has some roots in.
That has just diluted itself into being incorrect about something.
Yeah, we're not incorrect.
Make it correct. It just you're wrong, but you're living your life wrong, which happens to a lot of people. Super chat from Musa right off the bat. The Discord had never been so unified as we were against the cake take. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to come together as a nation.
Yeah, I'm a unifying force. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah.
All right, let's get to the news. Nothing crazy today, but today is apparently the day that the Eagles are formally interviewing the day man, Brian Daboll.
The day man. Is that what we're going with? It was the Athletics.
How about those stats, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it was
no
something.
wonder they don't call him Brian Nightbowl.
You really ruined. See, there's somebody in the chat who agrees with me here. You really ruined the stat with the bad dad joke. Like, I don't think anybody's going to remember the stat.
Well, it's not a good stat otherwise. The whole point of the stat is to set up the joke.
Who
cares about Brian Daboll's
the Athletics
record in prime time?
Diana Rossini.
The Athletics diarrhea?
No, I didn't say that. I said the Athletics. Diana Rossini reported that the Eagles are going to be interviewing Brian Daboll today. I think that especially
do you think tempers flare during that interview?
What do you mean? Where do I see myself in 5 years? Like a 35% chance, right?
Somehow, Jalen Hurts is not involved, but is concussed somewhere.
Brian Daboll's trying to get him out of the tent.
Brian Daboll, Howie, and Nick are in one room, and somewhere else in California, Jalen Hurts is all of a sudden his head is ringing.
Jalen! Get him out. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think of the field of the candidates that they've interviewed so far, he is probably one of the better case scenarios. Again, if you are not worried about the personality dynamics. So it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds.
I like your take from last week that
it's got to be in the booth.
It's got to be in the booth.
Yeah.
Can't be on the sideline. I like that take.
Yeah.
Coaches in the business think very highly of Brian Daboll. What?
I just realized you're wearing the same shirt as you were wearing yesterday.
Am I?
I don't know how I didn't notice that until just now.
I wasn't so sure. Is that true? This little thing?
Why are you wearing the shirt again? Were you wearing it?
I didn't even know.
Lindsay, was he wearing this before? No, right? Oh, man. This is a real tease. We are going to have to look for the ad break to see if you just put this on.
I didn't realize until we literally just started, and I looked and I was like, wait, he wore that yesterday.
I don't remember what he was wearing before the show. I think he put this on for the show. So
why would I do that?
He did. He did run out and get water, so he would have had an opportunity.
Oh, you thought you're being slick. We're on to you.
Oh, yeah. You're on to me 15 minutes later. You really picked up on it. Way to go, sharp eyes.
I don't know why it took me this long to realize you're wearing that shirt.
It took you 15 minutes? Yeah, we're on to you.
Oh, man.
Not at that rate.
Loopy Tuesday.
Yeah, check out Unblocked with Brandon Graham this week, Thursday at 11 o'clock. Some insight on the coaching search and everything else.
And you'll have to see what shirt Bo was wearing in that.
Find out. I think Daboll is. I think there's some variability there, but I think you are probably getting competence.
Yeah, I would agree. And I mean,
I don't think you're getting exciting scheme all of a sudden. I think
there's an argument that you would be getting a scheme that is catered toward the personnel that they have on offense. You're getting someone who has coached elite offenses, especially only having to worry about being the offensive coordinator. No, I think there's real upside there. I really do. I mean, he was in my top 5 for a reason. So, and really, of the guys that they've interviewed so far, he's probably the highest I had ranked.
And I think I think it probably does lead to, just generally speaking, better clarity about Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I would agree. Especially quarterback run game stuff. That's a real litmus test there. So,
all right, let's get into the meat of the show here, Mr. Smith. We spent some time last week talking about the defensive guys from locker room cleanout day, especially the guys who have big off seasons ahead.
Yeah,
a few of them on offense as well. Let's start with Lane Johnson. Now, we didn't get to talk to Lane Johnson. We haven't spoken to Lane really since, what was it, week 4?
Yeah, it was a road game. I think it might have been Tampa.
Okay.
That was the last time we heard from him. He famously said that the Eagles' offense was predictable. What game was that? Now it's going to bother me if I can't figure it out. Let's see. Was it? It must have. Oh, it was after they lost to the Giants, I believe, and then the following week against Minnesota. That was when he did a radio interview, and then as reporters crowded his locker, he had a speech about not wanting what he said to divide the team. So he said he was done. And so we haven't heard from Lane Johnson since October, and obviously he had a really deflating end to the season. So I don't know. It's an interesting one. I really do think. To say non-zero would probably even be underselling it. I think there's a real chance, maybe 50-50, that Lane considers retirement and ultimately decides to retire.
I think there's a 100% chance he considers it.
Yeah, sure. I think there's, let's say 50-50 at the end of the season is where I would put it.
Okay.
He's going to turn 36 in May. And I think it's surprising because he's playing at such a high level. But I don't know if Lane ever really wanted to be like Jason Peters playing into his 40s. I don't think that is something that necessarily appealed to him. I think if the Eagles, he would have liked to retire, on top if it were this season. He mentioned that going into the year, if they won the Super Bowl, maybe he would have considered riding off into the sunset. But no, I think that there is a real chance that it happens this offseason. I wouldn't say more than 50. I'd probably, if I had to put it, if you asked me to put real turkeys on Lane Johnson retiring right now, I'd probably put 42.
I think I would go a little bit under that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think just having been around him as long as I have, I would be surprised if he chooses to go out like this.
Yeah, and the thing is that my evaluation of it is based off of like the end of the season when those things are probably more heightened. As
Kelsey used to always say, like, at the end of every season, he thought he was ready to retire, and then he let it sort of sit.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot at play there. I think there are a lot of factors that he'll have to weigh. So it's a real thing. It goes without saying how significant it would be if Lane does retire. And I also think, like, if we think about the succession planning, it's funny because with Jason Peters, the Eagles tried so hard to have have a steady, solid succession plan in place, and it's kind of, not to be religious, just like the phrase is, like, man plans, God laughs, right? It's like they kind of fell into Jordan Mailata being that successor there, when they thought it might have been Andre Dillard or Lane Johnson, or I guess those are the two main ones. Would you consider anybody else in there?
Those are their plans. Yeah,
like Halapula Vaitai wasn't exactly Jason Peters' successor.
Correct.
But yeah, I think similarly with Kelsey, obviously Cam Jurgens ended up being that guy, but I think that Landon Dickerson, when he was drafted, there was a thought that he might be that guy. It would be kind of ironic if Fred Johnson ended up being the successor to Lane Johnson. I think that they probably would aspire for higher than that, but I do think that it's in play.
I don't think, truly speaking, it's in play for Fred Johnson to be there.
Yeah, they probably want competition
starting right tackle,
for him.
Bar injury.
Sure.
I don't think Howie would feel comfortable with that.
But 3 years ago.
Now you talked to Fred Johnson.
Yeah.
What is his expectation?
Yeah. So I was asking Fred Johnson about his outlook going into free agency, and the first thing that he said that stood out to me is, I feel like I played myself into a starting role. I feel like I maximized all of my opportunities this year, and that I gave my team the best chance to win with me in. So I think when you think about Fred Johnson entering his opportunity to start, when Lane Johnson went down, Fred talked a lot about wanting to prove to the league that he is a starting caliber, right? It's not a right tackle, just a tackle. And the sense I got talking to him, he thinks he did that. He thinks he proved that he's more than just a swing tackle.
I think he's right. I think he is a starting tackle. I don't think that he is. Good enough is not the right word, but I don't think that Howie Roseman will ever view him as Plan A as a starting tackle.
Yeah, no, I don't. Sorry, I didn't want to suggest that I thought like Fred Johnson was going to walk into the job.
I think that's probably it explains why they parted ways last offseason.
Yeah.
Right? And then they had to go trade for him because he didn't win the job in Jacksonville. I would imagine that it'll be a similar conversation this time around. I think the Eagles would love to have Fred Johnson back as their swing tackle, but if he wants to be a starter, I think even if Lane Johnson retires, maybe Fred thinks that that's an opening for him, but they would still draft over him.
Well, we have another quote, and I think we have a graphic for this one, Lindsay. I asked Fred if he, how he, because he made it clear to me, like, he views himself as a starter in the league. And
he deserves to.
And he also said that, he'd give the first listening ear to the Eagles. And I said, well, how do you reconcile those two things? Because there's not a clear path to starting. And what he told me is, if Lane retires, then I would most definitely think about staying. If Lane doesn't retire, then I'll have to look for a starting opportunity. That's just the nature of the business. Lane is one of the best I've ever seen. I don't ever want to be compared to him or anything. That's his spot. That's his right. So to me, that stands out. That is significant. Because as much as Fred would like to be back with the Eagles, it is contingent upon.
It is leaning into your shot too much.
I lean into your shot all the time. It's fine. But it is contingent upon what happens with Lane. And I think it stood out to me when I talked to Fred how much the possibility of Lane retiring was a part of the conversation with him and other guys in the locker room.
Yeah, it's also part of the larger conversation that we've had about just the state of the offense, to say nothing of who the offensive coordinator is going to be. But there's a chance that you lose Lane and A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
The most important thing that Howie Roseman has to do this offseason is completely revitalize the offensive line.
Yes. Yeah, we talked about the interior as well, where it's you draft someone that you feel good about starting double-digit games, because more likely than not, they probably will.
Yeah.
So no, there's a lot of work to be done up front. It's like, it really goes to show, as much, even a team like the Eagles that pour a ton of resources into their offensive line, like, it's still not a guarantee you're going to get consistent play from that group. It's a hard position to get year-over-year elite play out of.
Okay, good job.
And let me just say, like, I put it at 42%.
Hey, you say it.
I put it at 42%. I'm not saying it's happening. I'm not saying it's more likely than not. I think that there's a real chance, though.
Okay. All right. Much more to come. We'll talk A.J. Brown. We'll dip into some of the reports around him as well, but also just the future for him. Some interesting Jahan Dotson information for you coming up. Why is that so funny?
I mean,
why you got to laugh at the guy? He's already doing all the cardio. Never gets thrown the ball. Now you're going to laugh at him just for his name?
They're the one that's just going to be piling on.
That's not what I'm here to do.
Well, they're going to have to stick around
I
to find out.
had a very nice conversation with Jahan Dotson.
They're going to have to stick around to find out what you have cooking here.
It's not a skill issue. This is a role issue.
Are you going to go to break?
We'll be back with more on the other side here on the PHLY Eagles podcast. So the other morning, getting the 3 kids to school, jumble as always. Then I got to come in, do the Brandon Graham show. Unblocked. Check it out. And what happens? I need a little food. So what do? You know exactly what I did. I went to Wawa, got myself, I actually tried something for the first time, the Sizzly Burrito. Get a handheld while you're driving. I mean, what can be better than that? Delicious. And guess what? Guess what deal I took advantage of? The wonderful deal going on at Wawa from 5 to 11 a.m. where you can get any Sizzly and any size hot or iced coffee and a hash brown for just $5. What could be more convenient, more delicious than that? No need to overthink breakfast. Just grab, go, and get on with your day. If you need something sweet, you can also try the new caramel and chocolate craze flavors for any kind of coffee you want. Make it happen. Gotta have a Wawa.
I got to tell you about our friends at Xfinity. What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi, and what if you could keep that price the same for 5 whole years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Again, it's Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together. They find and fix problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And then it lets you stream the game even when your whole family's online. All your devices are working perfectly in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment already included in the deal. Take it from me, a lot can change in 5 years. Championships are won, records are broken, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, that should stay reliable and the price should stay put. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only, restrictions apply.
Back in the PHLY Eagles podcast, by Wulf EJ Smith. EJ, I do feel like some of the moves that, like the openings that continue to get filled, they are bit by bit working in the Eagles' favor.
Yeah, I would say they're breaking in the Eagles' favor for sure.
I mean, the Titans hiring Robert Saleh, very unserious.
Well, but who do you think his OC will be? I guess could be a shoe to drop there.
Probably somebody bad.
I mean, it's going to be somebody.
It's a bad organization. They're making bad hires. They're probably going to also make another bad hire.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that one worked in the Eagles' favor. Drew Petzing going to shoot. Why am I blanking? Yeah, going to Detroit. That's a big one. I mean, that was one of the OC jobs that you felt probably appealed more to the candidates than the Eagles. So, I mean, there's a lot to unfold, but early results have been good for the Eagles' pursuit of some of the better fits out there.
Bucks hired a guy.
Yeah, they hired a longtime special teams coordinator, Danny Smith.
From the Steelers. There was something about him over the past couple of years. Like
72-year-old
yelling on the sidelines or something.
He chews gum, per Mike Garafolo.
Oh, Danny boy. The teams are calling.
I had a Scottish, linguistics thing in my feed the other day.
Okay.
Don't make this weird. It's like this woman. It's a Scottish woman.
Lean into my shot all the time.
That you made it weird. Great. Congratulations. It's
the gum guy. Yeah, the gum guy. Okay.
It's this Scottish woman pronouncing words with her accent, and it is just like insane. The way that they pronounce the letter R. I mean, every culture pronounces it differently, but like the way they pronounce the letter R is just trippy. Like,
is it what's her name? The British Idol?
no, she's Scottish.
Susan Boyle. She was Scottish, I think. Susan
Maybe.
Boyle.
I don't remember the woman's name, but like it's like an extra consonant.
She was Scottish. I know my Scots. I know my Susans.
Shout out John McGinn. You don't even know who John McGinn is, do you?
Shout out Ryan Giggs.
Shout out Scott McTominay.
Shout out Macbeth.
Shout out Andrew Robertson.
You can't just keep naming.
Yes, I can. What do you mean? There's no rules.
Shout out.
Lindsay's furiously looking up famous Scots.
So I just Googled famous Scottish
Shout
people.
out Scott Pollard.
Shout out Aidan Borland.
I have one. Mary, Queen of Scots.
Scott Steiner.
He's not an actual Scot. He's just a Scot.
Yeah.
Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Gerard
Punch
Butler.
the keys, Jamal.
Andy Murray, tennis player.
Ryan
yeah.
Giggs is Welsh. I should have got Andy Murray.
Oh, so you lost.
I did lose.
Love that. AJ Brown?
He's not Scottish, is he?
I walked right into that one.
Gentlemen, welcome to the Rock. All right, go ahead. AJ Brown.
Yeah. Well, I think that we didn't hear from him in locker room clean out, but we haven't really. I feel like you and I haven't had a real conversation about like AJ Brown.
Let's do it.
You and I have not had our formal
Let's have a nice
AJ Brown.
Let's have some
What?
tea. How can I help you?
We have not had our formal like what is going to happen with AJ Brown this offseason conversation yet.
Yes.
And it's a conversation that if I'm going to Wawa and I run into like a friend or maybe a fan of the show, it's one of the first things they ask me. So I think it's past due that we maybe don't. I don't know if we're going to make a prediction, but at the very least we talk through this. So I went through the numbers because I think that the first thing that you hear from people is, well, the cap hit is a non-starter. So let's go through
First
some of
thing
the.
you hear from people who don't know anything, but go ahead.
Let's go through the numbers so that they, we're here
Sure.
to educate. So,
And by the way, continue great conversation going on in the chat about famous Scots.
Ooh, I like
Leave a
that.
comment
Yeah.
on the video after watching. Tell us your favorite Scots. Groundskeeper Willie, great one. All right, go ahead.
AJ Brown's cap hit, if he is on the team next year, is $23.4 million. If they trade him, he has a dead cap hit, and this is a number you'll hear a lot of $43.5 million. According to Spot Rack, that is the fourth highest dead cap hit, or that would be the fourth highest.
This is
dead
something
cap
that is
hit.
disqualifying to the Andrew Brandts of the world who have not updated the way that they think about NFL roster
Yes.
building
Yeah.
in the past decade.
Still, the fourth highest dead cap hit in NFL history if the Eagles were to trade him for a $43.5 million. They obviously could designate that as a post-June 1 trade that would offset some of that salary into next season. I'm not going to get into that because I actually think it's probably cleaner if you just take the dead cap hit. And the thing that I think is important to point out is, especially after last offseason, we heard so much from the Eagles. Well, we just knew the Eagles made moves that were informed by saving cash, not cap. The CJ Gardner-Johnson trade was a good example. It really was about freeing up money in future years and freeing up short-term cash rather than the cap implications. They didn't save very much on the salary cap that season. If they traded AJ Brown next season, they would save $29 million in cash. I think it's $110 million over the duration of his contract. So they'd be freeing up money in future years by moving him this offseason. So I don't think that the cap hit is as prohibitive as it might seem to. Like, if you just look at that dead cap hit.
But go ahead.
If you just look at that dead cap hit, you go, oh, they're not going to. They don't want AJ Brown counting for $43.5 million against the cap. What I would tell people is you probably don't realize the Eagles, honestly, they had more dead cap money than that last season. They will be expecting to have more than that next season. The way that they structure a lot of their contracts is to work around the dead cap money in order to build the best team possible.
Yeah, there are a few things at play here. One is taking on that cap means that the cash is gone in future years.
Yes.
So it allows you the room to pay the defensive players they're going to have to pay, and it's like anything else. There's a cost. They're not going to take on that dead cap hit just to get rid of him for a 6th-round pick. But if they think that he doesn't want to be here, and maybe there are some other little things that they can move around with the structure of the contract because he doesn't want to be here, you take on that hit for a 1st-round pick or a conditional 1st-round pick or a 2nd-round pick, whatever it is. There's a price where it becomes worth it. The other thing is, the Eagles do continue to run financially this way.
Yeah.
And they're making a bet that it's going to continue to be a feasible thing for them to do.
Yeah.
We'll see how long that plays out.
Well, there's always the quote unquote, I've heard Howie Roseman use the expression before, take your medicine. At some point, if there is a rebuilding year, you accelerate some of that dead cap into that season.
In some way, they're betting on the end of the world.
Maybe not that, actually. I think that they're betting on TV contracts continuing to boost the salary cap every few seasons. And like I just said, the reality that at some point the team will need to be rebuilt. And at that point that's when you quote unquote take your medicine and take some of those dead cap hits to clear out future years, clear out for future years.
So all of that is to say, what do you think happens?
So I think the first thing.
First of all, what do you make of the recent Joe San Loquido report?
Yeah, no,
which tell people what the report was.
Well, I'll answer both your questions. So first off, what do I think happens? I just think that the conversation we're having now is financially feasible for them to do this. It's not a non-starter. And then on the report, I talked to AJ all year. I had the story midway through the year where AJ said he was starting not to care anymore. I cannot confirm that AJ Brown requested a trade at any point during the season, but would it surprise me if he had? It would not surprise me if he had. He was very clearly frustrated throughout the season. He was. I don't want to I'm not sure if any of his actions were in pursuit of getting traded, but he was, again, it was in pursuit of letting people know how upset he was, letting people know how unsettled he was with the way the Eagles offense played and some of the dynamics internally. So, no, it would not surprise me to hear that he had requested a trade. It's not something I can confirm, but it's not something that I would sit up here and refute.
I think if you have been paying attention to the show since September, I think you probably heard us say that A.J. Brown let it be known that he wanted to be traded. It's hard to get the specifics of
a
is it a formal handing over? But
yes,
he made it very clear, is my understanding, several times that he didn't want to be here anymore. So
there you go.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
maybe things change over the course of the season. Maybe things change depending on who they hire as offensive coordinator. But that was certainly the case at one point.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm not optimistic that those changes are going to be enough to change his mind.
Okay. I have to ask Janky Rondo.
Shout out Janky Rondo.
Yeah.
So what do you think happens?
I think he's traded.
How many turkeys would you put on it? I'm curious to hear.
Mm, 81.
81. Wow. Okay. I was more at 65. So this is the next part of the conversation. The Eagles have to have enough suitors, bidders, whatever you want to call them. I'm sure you'll come up with something. The Eagles have to have enough of a market for A.J. Brown for this to make sense for them. Because as much as we just explained that the cap hit is not significant enough that they wouldn't do a deal, there is enough of a prohibitive side to this that they're going to want a premium pick back.
Yes.
And also, as we talk through some of these past trades with wide receivers, the team that receives A.J. Brown in this deal is going to be getting a more favorable contract because the Eagles, usually with these deals, it's trade the player and then sign them. And for that team that then receives the player, that is a more financially daunting task. Because the Eagles had already signed him, a lot of that guaranteed money is going to stick with the Eagles. That's the point of the dead cap hit. So it's a more favorable, more palatable contract for whoever gets him in the deal. So it should be appealing to teams, but how appealing is the question for me. I think I would be more toward the 65 turkeys. range of the side of things because of the fact that I don't know if it's a guarantee that they're going to get what they want for A.J. Brown in a trade. And what do you think that is the other question. So I can give you some past trades, but...
Sure, give me the past trades.
So Seattle got a 2025 second-round pick for DK Metcalf and a day 3 pick swap last year. Metcalf had to sign a contract with the Steelers when he got there. So I think that's the floor for A.J. Brown. Okay. Like, I think if you're the Eagles, you look at that deal and you say that's not enough for A.J. Brown already signed to a contract. Devontae Adams...
A.J. is a year older than DK Metcalf was then.
But they were the same draft class.
But he is a better player.
Yeah.
And he's not getting a new contract.
Yeah. Devontae Adams from the Raiders to the Jets a few years ago was a conditional day 2 pick that could have turned into a first.
Okay.
If the Jets made the AFC Championship game or if Devontae Adams was all pro. Dang, Lindsey catching strays.
Yeah, we'll give you a first if pigs fly.
I think Tyreek Hill is like the absolute best case scenario that is unrealistic.
Sure.
He went for 5 picks, 3 of which were premium picks, a first and a second in 2022, and then a 2023 second as well. And then Odell, like a long time ago, I think it was 2014, went for a first, a second, and Jabril Peppers. So based off of those, I think based off of the history, you're probably asking for a first. I'm not confident the Eagles get a first for A.J. Brown.
I also think there is a way for Howie to be creative here.
With conditions?
With conditions or with attaching his own picks. So, what if it's AJ in 23 for a top 10 pick? Or, something like that. I think we think the obvious suitors are New England and Buffalo. Right.
Yeah,
they both have picks at the back end of the first round, so I think maybe that maybe it's AJ in a third for one of those picks.
Yeah, I think the Buffalo,
like or it's a conditional, and then you get to root against those teams all season long.
So you're saying a future pick from those teams, not this year?
I could see that.
A future pick is interesting because we know the Eagles value future draft compensation a little higher than other front offices,
right?
And that's probably similar to the Hassan Reddick deal. It's probably a way to get a pick that you feel good about if teams aren't willing to offer a first. So, I could see a 2027 first for A.J. Brown. I could see that.
How about you call it the New York Jets? Call up Lindsey's husband. Say, listen,
Mr. Lindsey.
I'm gonna solve 2 problems here for you. I'm gonna give you A.J. Brown. I'm gonna give you Tanner McKee. And I'm gonna give you 23 overall. You give me number 2 overall.
If you were the Jets GM,
let's get spicy.
If you were the Jets GM, would you say yes to that trade? Be honest. This is your job interview.
Well, if they might see quarterback,
they might see this and be like, "This guy's got some good ideas."
And if Mendoza goes 1 overall or whoever, and they don't like their other options at 2, I'm not all the way against it.
You just failed the interview. I don't think the Jets say yes to that. I don't. I mean, it's
not
fun.
about the GM. You got to get Butch or whatever the Brick Johnson's name. You got to get a line to Brick's frat bro and put a little whisper in his ear, make it his idea, incept that thing.
Incept that thing. I think this is a fun exercise. Maybe we'll
throw in a case of Busch Light and
that's going to seal
a handle
the deal.
of Jaeger. And
that's going to seal the deal. If I had made the exact same trade, well, no, because it's Tanner McKee, it's your bit. But if we were sitting here with any rational mind on Tanner McKee, they would be like, "What are you guys talking about right now?"
Brick doesn't know what he's doing.
I think there are some fun trade scenarios here. I don't know if you want to do them before or after the break.
All right, we'll take a break.
All right. It's a good tease.
I mean, he says it's a good tease. We'll see if you stick around or not.
Do you guys remember when BG strip sacked Tom Brady for the first Philly Super Bowl ever? Well, now Brandon Graham is bringing us his Crooked T strip sack pack so we can all savor the flavor. What is the strip sack pack? Well, it's big, it's heavy, and it's juicy. It's the kind of pack you want to show off. You already know Crooked T is 0 sugar and all flavor, and the strip sack pack is stuffed with 24 cans and collectible trading cards by our friend Jordan Spector. Some cards are even signed by BG himself, and every kid case is packing heat. From the fridge to the tailgate, this is one sack you're going to be proud to display. So grab yours today at a store near you or on GoPuff. And for our guy BG, we have to send a shout out to the Philly area bars carrying Crooked Tea. Thank you to Sports and Social Allentown, Garage Fishtown, City Tap in Logan Square, and Wicked Wolf on Chestnut. Go check them all out for game day or a night out and tell them that PHLY Sports sent you.
Elkin Chevrolet, run by three brothers. Real brothers, local guys, and yeah, big Eagles fans. So you know what that means. They are furious, just like you are. And how are you going to turn that mood around? Well, how about a new car? What's better than that? Because right now, at Elkin Chevrolet, they are lining up deals that are hard to beat. They've got a huge inventory of Chevy trucks and SUVs, everything people actually want to drive, and the prices, well, they're going to move fast. So if you have been thinking about it, now is the time. Whether it's getting to the game, getting to work, getting out of town, taking A.J. Brown to the airport, whatever it is you want to do, Elkin Chevrolet will help you make it happen. These are the guys that you go back to, not just a one-and-done kind of place, because they treat you right, no runaround, no games, just real people and real deals. Elkin Chevrolet, real brothers, real deals, and a whole lot of honking good service. Route 73 South in Marlton together. Let's drive! Back on the PHLY Eagles podcast, Bo Wulf and EJ Smith. All right,
let's go through we'll go through the draft order. And you stop me.
We're gonna do it. We will have a full show at some point of true.
So do you not want to do this?
Go ahead.
Stop me when you hear a team that would trade a first round pick for A.J. Brown. Okay. A.J. Brown and the Eagles first. Let's say.
Okay.
All right.
Sure.
Raiders.
No.
Jets.
Yes.
No. Cardinals.
Good point from Deontay in the chat, who says the Tanner McKee's Madden rating isn't high enough for Brick Johnson to want it.
That's actually a really good point. Titans.
No.
Giants.
Although they're dumb. No.
Let's say you're the GM and you're making a rational decision for the team. Browns.
No.
Commanders.
No.
Saints.
No.
One more.
Not in a position to mortgage the future.
Chiefs.
That's interesting.
That is interesting. I think the Chiefs would consider doing it.
That's interesting.
Let's go through the top 15 and then
the Chiefs is interesting actually. 23 and A.J. for what is that? 8?
8. Or no, it's 9. It's 9. Numbers.
It's kind of interesting.
Would the Eagles do it? I think the Eagles would do that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Bengals, no. Dolphins, no. Cowboys, no.
How about Jeff Hafley to the Dolphins? What are we doing?
Some interesting coaching hires happening right now.
Yeah.
I guess it's like
Hafley,
these teams.
Stefanski, and Robert Saleh, 3 of the 4 openings have been guys who have proven to be mediocre as head coaches. Now, I like Stefanski
I'm about
too.
to say, I didn't think Stefanski deserved to be in that group.
But I'm just talking about their actual win-loss records. None of them is over like 450. I mean, Hafley had 4 years as the coach at Boston College. It was bad.
Yeah, the Hafley one really surprised me.
It looks a little bit like he's got the haircut of a Dan Bovino. I don't think we need to be hiring that guy.
I can't talk about anybody's haircut right now. I'm struggling. Woofing, as the kids would say.
You're fine.
All right. Rams.
No.
Ravens.
No.
I'm surprised you don't think the Ravens.
Maybe the Ravens. I could see the Ravens. It's not
Bucks,
crazy.
No. And then the rest are also probably no. So, well, the Jets have 16, actually.
I know. That's not enough.
It's not enough of a jump. It'd probably just be AJ for 16. I don't think the Jets do that.
I don't think the Jets do that.
The Chiefs I think the Chiefs are the one there. I think that's a fun one. Yeah. I think that could be mutually beneficial for all. And then the Eagles probably go, we need Fran to tell us, unless you have somebody in mind. If the Eagles had a top 10 pick, what position or which player?
Offensive line.
Is there an offensive lineman that is that highly thought of, that's going in that range?
Francis Mauigoa?
I'm impressed that you had Fran. You've been studying Fran's draft guide.
Not enough.
Yeah.
We're
getting there.
We're going to need more Fran.
All right.
Okay.
I like that.
I think it's also worth underscoring how good A.J. Brown has been, even though I think we both agree that he was not up to that standard this year. just the last 2 years, if you look at the last 2 years combined, yards per route run, if we have the graphic, second best wide receiver in football behind Puka Nacua. It's Puka, A.J. Brown, Nico Collins, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Christian Watkins.
Yeah.
Yards per route run the last 2 seasons. And that's with this year, him running a bunch of routes and not getting the ball.
Yeah.
Stupid hitches.
Yeah, and I feel, careful, I feel vindicated because you guys talked a lot about A.J. Brown's hamstring at the beginning of the season. I do think that if I was another team looking at A.J. Brown's performance this year, I would be a lot more, I would be explaining the drop-off, I'd be explaining it because of the way the season went for him, like mentally checked out at times. I think if you traded for A.J. Brown, you'd be confident you're getting the same version of him that we've seen in years past. And you'd think if I put this guy in a functional offense that he's engaged and 100% committed to, you're getting a dominant player again.
Probably.
What's interesting, though, is it really did hurt his stock. Because this time last year, if we were talking about A.J. Brown in a trade, it would be minimum a first-round pick. We probably
Yes.
would be talking about a 1 and a 2, like maybe 2 1s. I think you'd be... I think a 1 and a 2 for A.J. last year wouldn't have been an unreasonable thing to ask for. But they wouldn't have traded him is the thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. You want to talk Dotson now, or you want to wait till the break?
No, I want to hear... let's hear your Dotson hate.
Okay. This is not hate.
It's not hate.
I had a very
okay.
nice conversation with Jahan Dotson.
I saw the graphic that you had ready, and I thought that this was going to be hate.
Well, my question to him, because I have always been fascinated by this. In the Eagles offense, since whether you want to call it Nick Sirianni as the offensive, or as the head coach, or Jalen Hurts as the quarterback, since 2021, the Eagles have continuously had their number 3 wide receiver on the field all the time and never getting the ball. The last 2 seasons, we can pull up those same yards per route run numbers. 94 qualifying receivers over the past 2 years, or 95 qualifying wide receivers, and Jahan Dotson is 95th, dead last, and a huge drop-off from 94. So Brandon Cooks is 91st, then Van Jefferson, Xavier Hutchinson, Andre Yosevach, who's at 0.81 yards per route run. Jahan Dotson's all the way down at 0.59. Then I start wondering, okay, his target rate. His target rate is so low. How low is it, Carlton? Well, since the numbers go back on True Media, since 2013 is what we have. And I can pull it up here. There has not been a single wide receiver. Jahan Dotson ran 810 routes over the past 2 years.
A lot of routes.
8.5 target rate. There is not another receiver who has at least 700 routes run who's been under 10% in any 2-year span. There's one other guy, Jeremy Ross in 2013, 2014, who had 500 yards, 500 routes run, and was 8.4, like just barely below. It is crazy how often Jahan Dotson has just had to be out there running around knowing he wasn't going to get the ball. And I was curious, like how much of a mental strain is that for a guy who is used to his entire life getting the ball all the time?
Yeah, that is interesting.
And he said, yeah, it's hard. Like it's really hard. And he understands it. He knows like what his role is, but that doesn't make it any easier. And it's such a weird usage because, I understood it more when it was Quez Watkins. And it was like, okay, this guy is just a burner. He is there just to stretch the defense and change the shape of things and hopefully open things up a little bit. You understand it if it's Zach Pascal and he's there just to block or whatever it is. But like, it was such a weird use of Jahan Dotson, especially given the fact that you gave up a real pick for him. And obviously, I mean, listen, he made a huge play in the Super Bowl, so it was worth it. But boy, was this a waste of that resource over the past 2 seasons on a week-in, week-out basis. And I think he is ready to go somewhere where he thinks he can try to prove that he can actually be a part of an offense.
Yeah, I mean, there's a multitude of factors that inform the fact that like the wide receiver 3 in the Eagles offense is so used so limited. whatever. I used in such a limited fashion. I'm looking at Olamide Zaccheaus' numbers here, and it's just like staggering. It's like 400 yards, 533 yards the 2 years prior with the Falcons, 164 yards with the Eagles in 2023, 500 yards the following season with the Commanders, and then 300 yards this year with the Bears.
If you look at the target rates, the 10 worst single season target rates since 2021, 5 of them are Eagles.
Yeah, and
it's like 2 Dotson. There's a J.J. Arcega-Whiteside in there. There's a Zaccheaus.
J.J. Arcega-Whiteside.
And then Quez is down low as well. It's crazy.
Remind me to mention my J.J. Arcega-Whiteside Philadelphia sports take later in the show.
Well, there's a tease.
You want to go to break now, or you want to?
No, go ahead.
To me, it's a multitude of factors. It's Jalen Hurts and his reluctance to target players that he is not familiar with and necessarily trusting of. I think it's obviously the A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Mm-hmm. They are both going to take a lot of the target share naturally because they're good players. And I think it is somewhat the framework of the offense taking those two things into account. And Jahan Dotson being on clear out routes, but still, I feel like even with all that in consideration, Jahan Dotson does still have some culpability in the fact that he is.
I think that's true.
I think that
for sure.
The lack of production, because it's funny because when they replaced Quez with Jahan Dotson, you were thinking okay, this is a more ideal third wide receiver in this offense.
You were just thinking hopefully Jalen will throw him the ball.
I actually think that if you were building a wide receiving core, if A.J. Brown's back next year, I actually think you need to go back to the Quez mold. You could do better than that, but it needs to be at least a guy who can stretch the field vertically. And, Jalen's a different player than he was when Quez was, fulfilling that role for the team. But I still think, you need to have some value added in the off-the-ball role, in the off-the-ball part of the offense where it is, well, at the very least, you need to have a safety over this guy. Because even if he only gets the ball twice, the Rashid Shaheed, genre of player, it's even if he only catches one pass, it could be an 80-yard touchdown. So, I don't know. I think that's the lesson learned from Jahan Dotson's time with the Eagles.
Do you think there's any squinting case to be made that in a post-A.J. Brown world, if you make the offense a little bit more equitable, and Devontae leads the team in targets, but it's not just forcing the ball to these 2 guys or 3 guys, that it could make the offense more efficient?
Yeah, which game was it? The Giants game where A.J. was out and everybody was see, the offense looks better without A.J. Brown.
I think probably not is my answer to that.
Yeah, I'm skeptical of that. I think if they had a good blend of receiving options, yes, then if you brought in a good offensive coordinator and you had, the old adage is the basketball team of wide receivers, you have the guys who post people up, speed guys, route runners, obviously, and Devontae.
Yeah, I've never understood that. Just give me the best players.
Oh, I like the basketball analogy. You want to have guys who can fulfill different jobs. Yeah. I think
I'd rather just have the guys who are better.
Yeah, but if they're all one-dimensional, if you only... I guess you have to really lean into it. If you have, a bunch of guys who are
right, but if it's
6'4",
I've got A.J. Brown and not even players that good.
If you you're saying you want the best guys.
You're going to look at this roster and be you need a Ricky Prohl type in there. Come on.
No, but if you had 3 DK Metcalfs, you probably would like to have a slot receiver that could run routes that are not just slants and goes.
Yeah,
I think I don't know. It probably can be overstated, but I've always thought that that's a useful tool. So
okay. All right, it is time now to send you to our last break. On the other side, we'll find out this fascinating J.J. Arcega-Whiteside take that EJ has, and we do have a surprise for him coming up.
Next, let's talk about Monarch Money. You will feel organized and confident in your finances with Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface on your laptop or phone. Whether you're switching jobs like me with past retirement accounts to monitor or just trying to simplify checking your portfolio, Monarch has been perfect to keep an eye on all my finances in one place, and I think it can be that for you as well. It can be so time-consuming checking a handful of different apps. Monarch Monarch really is the perfect solution. It's built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, maybe it's a New Year's resolution for you, Monarch is for you. Don't leave money on the table. I know when you're making good money, it's easy to get complacent. You don't want to let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code PHLY at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50%, 50, off your first year at monarchmoney.com with the code PHLY. We've got a big football weekend coming up, and if you guys are like me, you just took a couple of boxes of Omaha steaks out of your freezer. At my house, Omaha seems to always mark a special occasion. We broke a few boxes out for Christmas. We'll have some for our first Sunday family dinner in a while this weekend. They're really the perfect centerpiece to a special meal. And you guys can save big on unforgettable gifts with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide and an extra 20% off select favorites during their Cyber sale. And for an extra $35 off, you can use promo code EAGLES at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code EAGLES at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. You can find the link in our description and pinned comment. Go to omahasteaks.com to get 50% off again. That's promo code EAGLES, EAGLES, at checkouts for an extra $35. Minimum purchase may apply.
Back on the PHLY Eagles podcast. By Wulf and EJ Smith. Do you know that Danny Smith was the Eagles special teams coordinator for 4 years in the mid-90s?
I did not know that. Under
Ray Rhodes.
Oh, okay. So it predates me.
Did you ever date anyone besides Julia?
I'm not answering that question. What is this surprise? I don't feel comfortable at all.
Jeez.
Lindsay won't look at me. You are over there scheming. I don't feel good about this.
Boo!
No. Have I ever told you how much I hate surprises?
Yeah, I inferred it when you came back from going to the bathroom. You're like, what's the surprise?
I hate surprises. Like, I don't keep secrets for surprises. I don't like being surprised. I'm an anxious person.
Has there been? Have you had a bad surprise? Is there an inciting moment here?
I think everyone who listens to this show knows I am a chronic overthinker. So when you tell me that I have a surprise coming, my brain goes into overdrive trying to figure out what it is, and then I can't focus on anything else.
It's called Lindsay Drive.
Oh, I get it. Okay, great. See, look how vexed I am. I am totally thrown off. So just tell me what the surprise is and we can move on.
I mean, I think we all know now I have to keep you on the hook longer, and I can't just go right to it. I mean, I have to. We all have to sit here and watch you suffer a little bit, right? How was your dad's birthday last night?
I've never been more unhappy on this show. My dad's birthday was great. It was great.
And you've got class 2 tonight?
I got one funny story about my dad's birthday. So my niece, she's wearing her earmuffs inside. Okay. And whenever she would put them on, I would like pantomime. I'd pretend like, Janet, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Mm-hmm. And I was like not saying anything. And she was, at first she's like, come on, man. Like, I'm smart enough to know that you're doing this. But then I started like kicking my nephew under the table and saying his name so he would look at me. And that threw her for a loop. She was like, this guy might be onto something. So
that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me the surprise.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
I hate you guys so much because I'm gullible too. I'm a trusting individual, so I'm actually like.
Let the chat weigh in. Should we tell EJ what the surprise is, or should we make him wait and let you watch him squirm?
They're mad at me for the cake take. They're not gonna be on my side.
Like EJ kicking nephews is the.
Hey, listen. Sometimes you got to keep them in line.
All right, I like that. I'll tell you, before we get to the surprise, I'll tell you one other player I talked to on the offensive side of the ball.
Okay.
Who had something interesting to say. That was Cameron Williams, the offensive lineman. What?
I'm just going to be on edge. You're going to have to get used to it. Look at them. They're on. They know something.
EJ's on tilt. He doesn't. What's happening? EJ's very nervous about something, and so you guys walking over made him extra nervous.
They're not good liars.
No, I'm not in on it. I can't wait. I gotta get tuned in. What's going on here? All right. Talk to Cameron Williams.
Yeah.
Interesting year for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think we all thought that he overperformed given expectations in Week 18. He acknowledged that it's been a weird year. He was excited to get on the field. He said he was pleasantly surprised with that performance as well. He told Stout he wanted Stout to be honest with him.
Yeah.
Tell him how he did. Cameron Williams thought he played to like a C- level. Stout said it was a C+.
Wow.
So he was happy with that. Now he said the weight and dealing with like losing weight has been a real problem for him.
Interesting.
All year long. And he said like he was getting fined for his weight all the way through like mid-season.
That's tough for these young guys. Yeah.
6th round rookie. It's brutal. But he eventually got there and he does feel better. So he feels encouraged.
That's great. I mean, I thought Cam Williams' profile coming out, like, I thought it was really interesting. I, incorrectly, you and Fran were on the right side of this. I thought that Cam Williams was the more intriguing, like, late round / undrafted offensive line prospect that the Eagles had coming into training camp. Obviously, Miles Hinton looked really good in training camp.
It looked early on.
Yeah, but I would say, like, when I watched Cam Williams at Texas and understanding that he declared for the draft probably a year too early, I thought that there was something there. So it'll be interesting to follow him going into next summer, especially knowing now, because of your good reporting, that the Eagles wanted him to drop weight. And maybe that impacts him, or maybe that informs him looking better in his second year.
There you go. All right, let's put him out of his misery, Lindsay. We did have Brandon Graham for Unblocked earlier today. Let's find out what he had to say. All right, BG, I need you to weigh in on something for me here. I'm a little bit nervous about this, but I got to show you something, and I just want you to tell me what it is that you see.
Okay.
Okay. Describe what this is. What kind of cake is that?
That's a pound chocolate cake, it looked like.
A pound chocolate cake. Would you call that, it's like a yellow cake underneath, chocolate frosting. Would you call that a chocolate cake, or would you call that a yellow cake with chocolate frosting?
I say a yellow cake with chocolate frosting because I can see the yellow part.
Yeah. So you don't describe cake by the frosting, you describe it by the kind of cake.
Yeah, by the kind of cake. By the bottom though. But You're right though, you do. But if I seen the frosting sometimes like fully, I would just suggest that I would think that it was a chocolate cake. If I didn't see none of the yellow.
If you didn't see underneath.
If I didn't see
but
none,
once you see it underneath, that's how you describe it.
Yeah, that's how you describe it, yeah.
EJ thinks this is a chocolate cake.
Nah. That's a swirl.
And then he tried to put it on me. He thinks maybe this is a white black thing, but that's a chocolate. It's not a chocolate cake.
That's it could be. You can go marble. You can go a little marble, a little chocolate and vanilla mix. But it's that's definitely it's a swirl.
All right, PG. Thank you for being on the right side of history here. That's all we got. EJ, how do you like them apples?
Okay. I teach a class at Temple. I teach journalism.
Oh, you've taught one class, and all of a sudden you're a professor?
As someone who teaches the art of journalism and being having integrity as a reporter, shame on you. Shame on you. What do you think it is, BG? Do you think it's a yellow cake with chocolate frosting? It's a yellow cake with chocolate frosting, right? It's the first lesson they teach you in journalism school. Don't ask leading questions. What did he say in the first place? He said it's a chocolate pound cake, which you guys, it looks like a donut. It is. It's a pound cake shape. But it's a chocolate cake.
I had to explain to him what the picture was. Because you took a picture of a donut and tried to get everybody to
explain to him what the cake was in the picture. He said a chocolate pound cake. He didn't say a yellow pound cake with chocolate frosting. BG knew what was up.
No,
you steered him in your direction. If I was there,
he didn't understand why this was even a question, and so I had to explain to him what is going on here. That there's someone with a screw loose who thinks that this is something that it's not. He had to understand why this was even a question.
Since you already brought up that it's a white-black thing, it's not a white-black thing because there are definitely black folks who do not think it's a chocolate cake. I think it is where you are from and like where your background is, like, you know, hundreds of years, what your lineage is. Because my grandpa grew up in South Carolina, probably didn't have much. For them, that was chocolate cake.
Wait, what does that have to do with didn't have much that's chocolate cake?
No, there's...
Stay tuned and find out. In cake time.
Cake time. I don't like cake time. I don't like it. I don't like cake time at all. No.
I don't know what cake time it is.
So a certain Zach Berman sent me a video.
You keep bringing it.
Where
I don't know, like
this woman went through the history, and this is again where it's like nothing that you do is original. Everything is something somebody else has done. Because she showed a yellow cake with the chocolate frosting, what I would call chocolate cake. She showed it. And she called it chocolate cake, and then people were all on her mentions going crazy. So she went into the history of it. And if you're from the South, I don't even think it's a white-black thing. I think if you're from the South and you didn't have access to cocoa powder in like the 1800s, you would just call it chocolate cake because that's the only way that you could have a chocolate cake is if you took the yellow cake that you could make and put chocolate frosting on it. So there is like a history behind this, but again, what she said is that like even in the black community, there's not a consensus on this being chocolate cake. Now I can see it in your face. You want to go, yeah, because some people have been smart enough to realize that it's not a chocolate cake. But listen,
I'll give you credit. Dead on impression.
To me, I think that a chocolate cake with chocolate icing is double chocolate. I think that, and what I will concede, because there's been some good discourse about this. It's not all been good. Let's just be clear here. There's been some good discourse. I will go as far as saying that like a chocolate cake, the one that you're describing, a cake that is made with like cocoa powder.
What would you call that with vanilla icing? Vanilla frosting. I
would probably call that what BG called it, a swirl.
No, you wouldn't. That's not what you would call it. What would you call it? If you were asking for that, what would you say? Yeah.
I honestly...
Would you call it a vanilla cake?
I wouldn't call it a vanilla cake.
Of course you wouldn't.
But it's for some reason...
you're not blind.
It feels different. I probably would call that... what would you call it?
A chocolate cake with vanilla icing.
Yeah, to me... Yeah, fine. I don't care about that one. I care about the yellow cake with chocolate frosting because the difference is you're describing a chocolate cake is more of like it's more of a...
The cake is describing the cake.
Yeah, but yellow cake to me is a neutral. I know that Deniz was eating yellow cake when he was a kid, and respect to Deniz's grandmom. But my grandpa called it chocolate cake. So if we're gonna respect the elders, respect my elders too.
But what would you call it if there was no icing?
I would call it yellow cake, but I also wouldn't. Honestly, if I saw a yellow cake just on its own, I'd probably call it cornbread because I'd just be like, "Oh, who made cornbread?" Would you, if you saw a yellow cake with no frosting, you'd probably not think it was just like yellow cake.
Yeah, but you would know it's yellow cake.
Yeah,
if you knew it was cake.
I think yellow cake is neutral enough. If you put chocolate frosting on it, it's a chocolate cake. Shout out to all the people who agree with me on this.
All three of them?
Deontay, Zach, Jamie. Jamie voted yes on the poll.
Yeah,
he voted in favor of the chocolate cake. Wow, I think
he admitted afterwards it was a mistake.
Nah, he saw that the consensus was against us. He
EJ realizes this is wrong. Yeah, I don't care about that one. That's the comment.
What is it?
When you realize that you're wrong, and then you say, "Yeah, no, I don't care about that one."
I think chocolate cake with vanilla icing, to me, that is chocolate cake. You would eat chocolate cake on its own, like a chocolate, The thing is, and this is what I said on social media, and this is like the only concession I'll make, is that there can be different versions of chocolate cake. I think that that's fine. You guys don't get to just like decide there's only one chocolate cake. There can be more than one version of chocolate cake. And for the record,
if your family calls a hot dog a hamburger, and you go to a restaurant and
not
order
subjective.
a hamburger.
Oh, the waitress said it was a chocolate cake too. What?
I don't believe you.
What do you mean you don't believe me? Why would I? You can ask anyone in my family. We point, and we didn't do what you did. We didn't go, look at this cake. You see how it's chocolate? What would you call this cake? We just said, what kind of cake is that? And she said, that's a chocolate cake. And that is the subtle distinction here. That, you know how sometimes with arguments you just end up arguing like different things? No. I'm not saying that is the chocolate cake. I'm saying that is a chocolate cake.
It's such a silly take.
I feel great about it.
I'm glad you feel good about it.
I mean, you thought that this BG
You're making
interview
a fool out of yourself
was going to be
the entire
You thought
country,
this BG interview,
the entire world.
It was going to be, yeah, it really is the world. You thought this BG interview was going to be like your big smoking gun, and you just asked him leading questions for 5 minutes, and are like, see, he agreed with me when I steered him into calling it something that he didn't call it originally.
Because he couldn't tell from your picture that it wasn't a donut.
No, he got it exactly right. I wouldn't be opposed to somebody calling it a chocolate pound cake because the pound cake is the shape. And the chocolate is the flavor of the
pound
cake.
cake is not. Hold on.
No, you need to look that in the face.
I will not have you sit here and tell me a pound cake is the circle.
It is. A pound cake is the circle. Google pound cake right now. Look up pound cake. A chocolate pound cake is a fair description.
That's not what a pound cake is.
When you asked me, I said,
I haven't done this on the show.
You can't describe it correctly by its flavor or by its density.
I have never pulled this on the show. How are you going to tell me what a pound cake is? It is a pound cake. It is the same container you make a pound cake in. When Julia makes a pound cake, it is that shape. That's why he said a chocolate pound cake. You steered him away from it. You were like, please agree with me that it's not a chocolate pound cake. Chocolate pound cake
It's hard to not ask a leading question when you're just asking someone to verify, hey, isn't this the color green?
Pound cake is not a loaf, idiot sandwich. Come on, man. What are we doing? Pound chocolate, pound cake. Man.
You're wrong about cake from every angle now.
This is a pound cake. This right here.
It's not.
You guys
it's
see
not
that?
a pound cake
you see
because
how it's
of
a
the circle.
That is what a pound cake is made at. That's the shape of a pound cake. That's a pound cake. So when he says a chocolate pound cake,
wrong. You're
perfect.
Just wrong.
Perfect. BG is actually more right than I am. It is a chocolate pound cake. It's not a chocolate pound cake with yellow cake. It's redundant. It's a chocolate pound cake.
It's hard for me to ask the audience to tune in tomorrow.
Pound cake.
When they have seen you be so wrong on so many levels. What's to say that your perception of Eagles news
Oh, come on.
Not
you're going to call my integrity into
twisted.
question just because you don't like that you're wrong?
It's not your integrity so much as it's your ability to discern fact from nonsense.
A chocolate pound cake.
So I'm rethinking everything you've told me about the Eagles over the past 9 months.
Like what?
Whatever it is. Well, I mean, certainly the Cam Latu stuff is starting to make a little bit more sense.
Oh, come on. Cam Latu. I was so right about Cam Latu.
I'm starting to think that A.J. Brown really wants to be here. That... what are some of your other takes? That... I mean, it certainly makes your Moro Ojimo opinions make a little bit more sense as well.
What do you mean? My Moro Ojimo takes, you're just naming times I've been correct about things.
No, in your own perception of a warped reality. to
have the tape
stand on
of
business
these
as
things.
if you think that you were right that Moro Ojimo was better than Milton Williams.
I actually think I'm pretty flexible on most things. Like if you tell me that you disagree with something, I will reevaluate it. I feel great about this. This specific argument. Every argument that you have thrown at me, like Fran, like sending me like chocolate covered potato chips, and then his little like goons online are like, "Yeah, get him, Fran." Not the same thing. Not the same.
I mean, listen. those of us who have listened
Dana
to...
is saying if you put a if you go into the woods, this was funny. He said, if you go into the woods and you get a rabbit and you put chocolate over it, does it make it a chocolate bunny? It's funny, but what does it have to do with the chocolate cake? Nothing is the answer.
Not a chocolate
It was
cake.
a fun scenario though. Would you call it a chocolate bunny?
I would be more willing to call that a chocolate bunny
Than
than
be ridiculous.
Than yellow cake than chocolate cake.
A chocolate bunny is already a thing.
Yeah.
I have an annual tradition, Reese's bunny on Easter, and
Okay.
if I don't get it, somebody's gonna hear about it.
That sounds like a threat.
It is. It's totally a threat.
All right. Yeah, as Matthew Greenwood says, DTR makes a lot more sense now.
I got nothing to say about the DTR reframing.
Super chat from SRG. Maybe Nick can do a reverse Andy and make Clint Hurt the offensive coordinator.
It's funny to think about.
Hey, what do you think what about Matt Nagy, who seems like has maybe been soft fired?
Yeah. I don't know. He's kind of like a more ideal version of Mike Kafka, right?
I would rather have him than Kafka.
Well, yeah, obviously. He is like a Mike Kafka without like personal beef involved for you. Yeah, be interesting. I still wouldn't put him in like the top tier of candidates.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
CDP, EJ, what are the top 5 songs from the combined discography of Green Day and Blink-182? EJ is right about cake.
Wait, CDP's on my side. I didn't think he was. I thought CDP was just yelling at me about the pound cake thing.
Because you were wrong about that.
That, the pound cake thing, even more than this, I will not declare the chocolate cake a Two Americas thing. I think it might be geographical, but not Two Americas. I think the pound cake thing might be a Two Americas thing.
You can't just keep falling back on this.
I don't like that we're falling back on the Two Americas thing that often, but I have never seen a loaf of pound cake before. Are you looking something up now? Yeah, no. I don't think that is something that I would have had in my life.
The pound cake, it has nothing to do with the shape. That's not what makes it pound cake.
To me, when you look up pound cake
is a type of cake traditionally made with a pound of each of 4 ingredients: flour, butter, eggs, and sugar. Pound cakes are generally baked in either a loaf pan or a bundt mold.
Does it say anything about customs?
No.
Different customs for different shapes? Yeah, I would not have. If I asked you for a pound cake and I got that loaf, I'd be like, what is this? Why did you make this into a loaf? It's really good in a bundt shape. It's great.
Yeah,
you should try it. Everyone should try it.
You know what? We can agree that pound cake is delicious.
Do you think pasta tastes different in different shapes?
No.
Yes.
It tastes different?
Yeah. They're different. They're different.
So
I mean,
if
they're
your
serving
kids
different.
are like,
Spaghetti and
I don't
rigatoni.
want that shape, you're like, I get it.
Oh, I don't know about that.
There are thicker. Obviously, angel hair tastes different than rigatoni.
Yeah. It's because of the texture. It feels like angel hair's got like a little bit more like oil on it, I think it's just texture.
You cook it with oil.
No, I feel like if you cook them exactly the same, the angel hair. I rescind this take.
Listen, as someone who listened to many of your mailbag responses and learned very well that you have no idea what you're talking about on many fronts, this is still blowing me away.
It's funny because I stand by my mailbag stuff. Everyone likes to pretend that I'm so bad at it, but like I've always had the disadvantage of Sheil and Cliff reading the entries before me, and I feel like I represented myself pretty well. I hear that my successor on that podcast is getting the same amount of heat for his takes, which doesn't surprise me because it's not always easy, but I really do.
It's actually pretty easy.
It's not. It's that you don't knock it till you try it. Have you been on a mailbag episode?
I'm happy to do it.
Have you been on one?
Maybe. I don't know.
And if you were in that, you would get things wrong all the time, and then you just be like, "I'm sorry, you guys just aren't intellectually on my level, so therefore."
I would not get anything wrong.
Also, I have to make a correction. I have to make a correction on something. Speaking of you being like hoity-toity, I'm smarter than everybody. You would like Better Call Saul early seasons, not later seasons, because you would be the like, let me tell you why this is actually good guy with those seasons. Yeah. I was great on the mailbag.
Not if you were the person asking for life advice. Maybe as a content provider.
No, I gave people great life advice. You got to let them know what time it is. Is one of my favorite, one of my favorite ones, and I stand by that. I totally stand by that.
Bewildering stuff. Really wild stuff. Yeah, I do. I fear for the Temple journalism students who are going to be sent off into the world at your behest.
What is that? Rad Frack says that you'd be the one who's like, let me tell you why the season 2 of The Wire is actually the best season. That is actually really mean, but
it's not that mean. It's fine.
I think it is pretty mean if somebody thinks you would say that.
Season 5 is the worst season. Season 5 is worse than season 2.
Yeah, it's because you're a reporter and you don't like
I hate
their depiction of
awful
reporters.
stuff. Frank Barber.
Oh yeah, thank you, Frank.
What was EJ's JJ Arthega take?
All right, so how did he spell our? Okay, it's fine.
He spelled it how it's pronounced.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. First and foremost, JJ Arthega-Whiteside was very nice. One of the nicest players I've covered.
Hard agree.
Yeah. And I think he taught me that, you know how Jason Kelsey will say, like, the thing about that people don't realize about Philadelphia sports fans is if you work hard as an athlete and you care, then they'll love you forever. That's all that they ask for, is that you care as much as they do and that you work hard. You don't skip steps. JJ Arthega-Whiteside taught me that is a total lie. Because JJ Arthega-Whiteside worked hard. He played special teams.
It's a good take.
Yeah, he played special teams. He did the dirty work when it wasn't going well for him in his career. He played after his grandfather passed away. Like, he really cared. And he just wasn't good, and everybody hated him for it.
It's a very good take.
And it's fair.
Although
I'm not saying that they were wrong to hate him for it.
Well, no, I think there is maybe I'm wrong. I feel like it wasn't a hatred of JJ Arthega-Whiteside. I felt like he just became a punchline.
Yeah, he became. Well, let's be real. He became a punching bag. Like, he became like.
I think
like
it was
the
a
picture
little
of his
different
mom
than
holding the
I feel like
umbrella
it was
over him.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, people just really didn't like him, and it's like, I'm not here to tell you.
I feel like it was still a little bit different than Jalen Reagor conversation, which I felt like, was more visceral and more like, we don't like this guy.
Reagor got like toxic, yeah.
And I actually think the JJ thing was maybe even more of a Howie complaint at the time. I don't know. Maybe I have that.
No,
maybe I'm
people made
retrofitting
him,
that. Yeah.
People made him.
I think that's a good take, though.
They made him You're right. They made him a punchline. He was definitely like, he just caught the ire of Eagles fans. And I'm not saying that they were wrong for being frustrated.
Good rebound from you after a day of bad takes to finally land a good one.
Just keep shooting, right?
Yeah.
Volume shooter.
One of them's gonna go in.
But no, to me, like, JJ Arthega-Whiteside, he worked hard. Fans didn't like him because he wasn't good.
Well, pedigree obviously has a huge part to do.
And
like, if JJ Arthega-Whiteside had been a 6th-round pick, people would have loved him.
Sure, and let me say, I'm not like blaming them for being frustrated with him as a player. I understand it. I just, whenever I hear like, oh, if in Philadelphia, if the athletes care, if they run to first base hard, then we'll love them. It's like, no, if guys stink, they stink, and that's fine. Philadelphia sports fans are real.
It's a good take.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take the chance to end on a good take by you. And let you know that we'll be back tomorrow.
With more bad takes.
At 2:00.
Can we at least kill the cake debate? Can the cake debate rest for a while?
I
can't have any more people.
I think until we have new information, yeah.
I can't have any more people like reaching out to me to be like, EJ, you're so stupid about this. Like, I love you guys and I appreciate you watching, but I can't have that. I can't have too much of that.
Okay. I mean, by no means am I promising that it's done.
No, well, it'll come up again.
But
yeah, couple days off.
We'll see. Yeah, barring new information, new developments in the story, we'll take a break for a day.
The cake debate rages on.
All right. That'll do it. Thanks for listening and watching today, everybody. Thank you, Lindsay. We will talk to you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. And as always, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.